and this is the Denver International Airport. If you guys aren't already here in Denver, once you come out here and you spend a little bit of time in the Mile High City, you're gonna start to see and start to hear about some of these, because even after 25, almost 30 years of being built in the new Denver International Airport, some of these are still circulating around town and you still hear people talking about them. So it's actually 6 different things all about Denver International Airport that I think are super interesting, but also a little bit creepy. So the first one is about Blucifer. So Blucifer is the big blue Mustang with beady red eyes that you can see when you're driving up to the airport to drop somebody off at departures, or maybe going to arrivals, or just anytime you're getting really close to the airport, you're gonna look off to the side and you'll see Blucifer. He's 32 feet tall and he's officially known as the Blue Mustang, but what he's really known for is how he actually killed his maker. So a man by the name of Luis Jimenez was the creator of Blucifer, and this actually was one of his biggest accomplishments, but also at the end, it was his demise. Blucifer actually toppled over on him and killed him when he was finishing the final touches on Blucifer to present it to the Denver International Airport. Obviously, this is a very unfortunate circumstance, but a lot of people look at this in a little bit deeper context and think that Blucifer might be cursed. Maybe this was some demonic way that he, took his aggression out on his creator, Luis Jimenez. I'll let you guys decide for yourselves, but that first of 6 crazy things about Denver International Airport, I thought was a good one to start with. So the second thing at Denver International Airport is the murals. Now, there are some creepy murals inside the Denver International Airport. If you guys are ever in the airport and you're trying to get up to baggage claim, or I should say you're trying to get up to where you drop off your bags when you're checking in, there's about 5 or 6 levels, and I think it's on like level 4, 5, and 6, you'll find a lot of these giant murals. The painter and artist who did a lot of these murals was a man by the name of Leo Tanguma, and they are cool. They're large, they're colorful, and definitely very dramatic. But if you really look deep into them, there are some messed up, weird, creepy scenarios and just scenes going on inside some of these murals. For example, in one of these murals, known as Children of the World Dream of Peace, you'll see, if you look really closely, kids wearing gas masks, kids holding swords and rifles, and some of these children are actually with doves behind them, laying the guns and the weapons down on the ground. I'm sure there's a lot deeper meaning behind this, but just a little creepy, especially if you see this one in person. In one of the other most famous murals, known as In Peace and Harmony with Nature, you can see a lot of very unusual environmentalist type illustrations. There's even, there's different children crying and just overlooking the destruction of the planet. Very dark and just kind of overwhelming if you really let yourself get, kind of enveloped inside this one. At the end of the day, the real conspiracy on these murals is that they're full of secret messages about upcoming global disasters, doomsday, just a lot of very dark stuff. In fact, on this last mural that I'm referring to, they even have rumors of talking about a rise of a new world order and mass destruction. Stuff that's pretty dark, especially as you're going into the airport to go travel and visit a new place. So I just thought that these murals are a very unusual, eclectic taste to have at our amazing Denver International Airport. The third thing about Denver International Airport that I also think is very unusual and creepy is this statue that you'll find as you go into the airport. It's known as the Dedication Stone, also a Freemason symbolism, if you're familiar with that at all. And what's unique is when you look at this statue, there's a transcription underneath that says New World Airport Commission. So this New World, play on words has got a lot of people kind of thinking outside the box and wondering if this is a Freemason or potentially even some sort of a conspiracy. So as you can guess, naturally, a lot of conspiracy theorists are seeing this and saying that that statue and a lot of these different things I'm telling you about with the airport are connected in some way to the Illuminati and some of these Freemasons. But, I think this is probably not to be blown out of proportion. When I did some research on this, I did see that the New World Airport Commission was actually just the name of the group that helped fund the airport's construction back in the 1990s. So it's most likely not part of the Illuminati or too suspicious, but still something that people are talking about even here 30 years later. So this fourth thing about DIA is one that a lot of people talk about, and this is all about these underground tunnels that can potentially take you all around underneath the airport, and again, connected to potentially the Illuminati. So as you can imagine, when any airport is built, but especially one of the magnitude of Denver International Airport, there were a ton of underground tunnels built out ahead of time for moving the different baggage to different terminals and just really helping with a lot of the systems and just logistics of getting baggage to where people needed to go. Unfortunately, 30 years ago when the Denver airport was getting built, they found out that a lot of these baggage tunnels were actually not going to be able to be used because there were some mistakes during the construction, and just the location and just how everything was configured just didn't work out perfectly. So they had to actually abandon some of these tunnels. Now again, conspiracy theorists are saying that these underground tunnels that are abandoned are actually bunkers, potentially also areas that are being used by NORAD, which exists in legitimacy down in Colorado Springs that helps protect the United States of America. They're saying there's actually NORAD-related stuff in these bunkers underneath the Denver International Airport. And they're also saying that these could be bunkers for if a doomsday event ever did happen, for very world-class, highly elite type people to basically escape to and be protected. You know, again, most likely these tunnels are just collecting spider webs and dust, but I think this is one that a lot of people really latch onto and like to at least think or believe that maybe there's some level of truth to it. The fifth thing about the Denver International Airport is the gargoyles. So not sure if you guys are familiar. At the baggage claim in both the east and west terminals, you'll see up in the ceiling some of these gargoyle statues that just look very out of place. And when you see them, you're like, well, that's a little creepy. Like, what's going on there? Well, there's a lot of theories here. Some that are just saying that these gargoyles are, from history, are kind of known to help protect things, and they're there to help protect the airport. And I think that was what they really were trying to accomplish here. But without a doubt, regardless, they are definitely still very creepy, and they do fit in with some of the style that they've gone for in some of the parts of the airport where these do exist in the Jeppesen terminal, where the baggage claim is. And that's just kind of going into that Gothic style with the exposed beams and just how that part of the airport, at least originally, was envisioned to kind of appear and have that style that went with it. All right, and then the sixth and final stat all about the airport, before we move on to some other fun facts about Denver, is going to be the layout of the runways at the airport. And this one's pretty interesting. So what's going on here, so if you look at the airport, and you look down on it from above, from a bird's eye view, so to speak, they say that the direction of the different runways looks exactly like a swastika. And while it is true that every airport has very specific configurations for the exact longitude, latitude of each of the runways and where they're positioned, this I think is, again, a far reach and definitely not as much of a swastika as people might think it looks like. I'll let you guys take a look for yourself, but I do think there is some resemblance, but not enough to really dig much further on this one. So all 6 of those were all just about the Denver International Airport. I know I wanted to go a little bit deeper in on that one just because there were so many just fun and unusual things to share with you guys about the Denver International Airport. So I hope you guys got some enjoyment out of that one.